Welcome back to Athletic Everyday, day 82. Coming at you with a quick upper body session today. Front lever, push press, and weighted pull-ups, as well as a little bit of neck training and some shoulder isolation work at the end. Pretty good session. Nice, quick, short one. I'm actually finding a way to make these upper body days quite efficient now. Getting into the routine of doing supersets on the major compound exercises. So, for example, today did a vertical push-pull, I guess you could call it, a vertical push-pull superset. So I was doing push press supersetted with weighted pull-ups, so working on the same vertical movement pattern, just one of them pushing, one of them pulling. And it does really save time when you can superset non-disruptive exercises like that. I mean, there are some muscle groups that are used in common for both exercises, mostly like the stabilizing muscles in the back. But the main primary movers of the push press and the primary movers of the weighted pull-ups, they don't overlap, so you can perform one straight after the other and get massive recruitment of all of the primary or major muscle groups of the upper body all at once within the space of 2 minutes. And when you're doing this like a superset, so you do get, because of all that recruitment, it's a very efficient and effective way to train for upper body strength. So for front levers today, it was mostly just trying to get that straddle hold down. My usual benchmark time duration on front lever before I move on to trying more challenging variants would be 10 to 15 seconds. So if I'm in that range quite consistently throughout the training week, then that says to me the following week, then I can try a slightly more difficult progression. For example, previously when I was training front lever, I was getting the advanced tuck progression quite easily and able to hold that very consistently for about probably more than 15 seconds actually. So that indicated to me that I needed to start trying more advanced progressions. So for example, I went from doing advanced tuck front lever, which is kind of like you're doing a tuck, but then you're trying to point your tibias, like your shins, so that they're parallel to the floor essentially. Moved from that, and then I moved on to this straddle front lever. Now there are progressions in between those that you're supposed to do. For example, you're supposed to do, I think it's half tuck front lever. So half tuck front lever I find really, really awkward to do for some reason, but I'm holding the straddle pretty decently it's quite a wide straddle granted, but I'm holding the wide straddle for sort of on average 8 to 10 seconds every session now. So I'm sort of getting towards that phase where I can start to progress and maybe start trying some more difficult progressions. For example, just trying to essentially just close my legs a lot more and increase the length of the lever of my body, which makes it harder to hold that position. Push press went okay. Felt like I was really missing out before by not doing the rhythmic rebounding reps. I don't know why, but it feels so much easier to drop the bar and keep some of the momentum from the bar and then sort of bounce that into your legs and then rebound that back up into the bar. I don't know what it is about that specific style of doing the push press, but for me it just makes me like at least 20% stronger. All of these reps felt really nice, and for some reason it also made it feel more symmetrical for me. In the past, when I've tried to push press and I'm doing sort of relatively heavy weights, you'll see my shoulders sort of shift to one side, and I'll start pushing and I'll start feeling that weight going down one side of my body, which really doesn't feel good. But when I do this rebounding method, I really do feel nice and balanced, pushing with both sides of my body. And all the while I was supersetting this with weighted pull-ups. And the weighted pull-ups went pretty well. I was doing pronated grip this week. For those of you that don't know, I'd like to alternate the grips. So one week I'll do pronated, one week I'll do supinated. And just switch between. Obviously you can pull more doing a supinated grip with your palms facing towards you. It's just a much more advantageous position to pull from. Because you've supinated your wrist, it has a lot more bicep activation, so you're getting a good mixture of bicep and back activation when you pull like that. So generally you'll find that people can pull a lot more when they do chin-ups or supinated pull-ups than they can overhand grip pull-ups. And I must say, I really do quite like low rep, high intensity upper body compound movements. Just like you would train triples on a squat or a deadlift, I don't see why the same logic can't apply for heavy pull-ups and heavy overhead press or push press. Well, it probably does in a lot of circles, but I think generally when people try and train up a body in the fitness industry nowadays, it's all about just building size and there's not really as much about emphasis around building strength and functionality. So I think that it's just really fun, and it's really fun and athletic way to build not only upper body strength but also power development in the upper body as well. I'm building a good upper body base so that then when I do move into clean and jerks and snatches again later, hopefully some of this extra upper body strength and power will also have transferred over into those lifts as well. But we'll see where we're at with that at the end of this training cycle. Speaking of training cycles, so this is week 10. What we're at right now, this is week 10 of the jump program. So that's the final week of the program. I'm going to retest my max vertical on either Friday or Sunday this week, depending on how fatigued I'm feeling on both of those days. So I'll pick which day is the most effective to retest my vertical. We'll see if I made any progress on the program. Anyway, that's pretty much it from me today. Finished up the session with some neck training and some loo raises. Again, get a nice little pump in the shoulders. Overall, really good session. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.